Live. Yeah, not sure what's happening here. So, oh, okay. Greetings and salutations. This thing just went off. Yeah, my thing just went off. Okay, it's back on. So, welcome back everyone to another episode of the Verandah Conversations. I just want to thank everyone for showing me so much love, support, um, in different ways. And I wanted to big up my guest last week, Andre Shakes, and otherwise known as Drez. And it was a wonderful interview for him to share what he has learned, what he has experienced in the music industry. And it was a great experience meeting him and then working alongside him. So yeah. So my name is Antonia Valier. I'm a Jamaican poet, author, award-winning. I just said that award-winning author of Pearls Among Stones, Black Gold, all from Babylon System, Liberation of Mind. Just show you like some quick books. They're on Amazon. So that's Pearls Among Stones and Black Gold, all from Babylon System, Liberation of Mind. They're all on Amazon, so you can check them out. Let's see, so let me fix this. Because this thing keep telling me that I need to fix my frame. Hope that's okay. No. Right. And yeah. I will be discussing today basically beauty and success expectation versus reality on social media. And I must say that this was inspired by you know the former Miss USA Chelsea Christ, who committed suicide. And it's interesting, when you go online, people are so shocked. Suicide is, whoa, there's a lot to suicide, and there is, and of course people are like mental illness, that's like everything that people want to go for now. But I want to look on another side of it, because a lot of people were commenting and they were like, wow, she's so beautiful, she's so successful. And obviously success is defined by you. I always say that. Success, sorry about that, I keep moving. Alright, there's this thing keep coming up saying too low, current frame is too low. I don't know what the problem is, but so success is something that is defined by you. And why I say that is because everybody will have their own definition of success. For me, I look back to where I was in terms of like my childhood, how I grew up, in terms of the conditions, and I look on now. So you may not be like rich or whatever, but you know I do believe that my family and I are a success, are a success story, because of what we went through, what we endured, and where we are at now. And we are giving God thanks for life and strength, and that we are alive and well, and that people can look on and say, "Whoa, I remember their life and how it was, and they're still pushing on, and their mentality and their positive mindset." So I look on those qualities and those steps as my definition of success. So as a poet, for example, I'm going to use that aspect. Um, a a lot of people say I'm successful because I've won awards, and yes, that is it. Um, People gonna judge you based on that. I do use that in correlation to how I survived, but I don't necessarily think, like, if I didn't win awards, right? Let's put it that way. If I didn't win awards and I'm here talking now, would I still think of myself as a success? Yes, I would. The awards are just icing on the cake, as they say. To me, the major success is where I'm at now, and what it took me to come at this point in my life. And deeper, how is my work impacting people? A lot of creative and artists, you always hear they say that, say, that's, and the truth of the matter, it is, because by the end of the day, yes, it's wonderful you publish books and you're a author, you're a spoken word artist, you drop tracks and all that. But by the end of the day, that's just like your own, you know, self adoration, put it then. And that's where it stops. But if someone stops you on the road and they say, hey man, I listened to that silence poem and boy, it spoke to me. Or I listened to that mama poem and I cried. Like, that bring you to a place like, whoa, like, man, like, my work really did transcend beyond, because now I am connecting to people on an emotional level. I'm connecting to people in a relatable way. They can relate to my work, and especially if the work that they're talking about is it's coming from a place of it's real, like it's a real poem. Like, there's some poems that I just make up, like it's just fun. Like I Jang Poetry, for example. Most people love that poem, but it's just a fun poem. It's and it's my adoration of saying, oh, I love poetry, and I wrote it in a metaphorical way. But that's what it is. But when they speak about a silence and my mother poem or bloodbath, you get a different sense of what it's about, where it's coming from, and the impact. It transcends beyond even Jamaican, and over, because what you're saying, it speaks to a lot of people. It speaks to their current situation. It speaks to the way that they see governance, social issues. So, when people can stop me on the road, or they can message me, or they can, DM me or whatever, or call me, or within the moment, like if I'm on stage and they be like, you know, that definitely touches me. And I'll be like, whoa, I'm really doing something here. I gotta continue the journey. And of course, that's like the written and spoken aspect. And then when you become one with your work now, and then you want to be like an activist in it, it's just awesome to me, because now you're not just talk the talk, as they say. No, you're walk the walk. And I've reached that place now where, like, I can be versatile in my works, but I'm really drawn to social issues, because that's in my life. Looking on nature, looking on people. I'm looking on my surrounding. I'm looking on what's going on, and that's what inspires me. So that's that. But to go deeper now, I saw a lot of comments with Chelsea Christ, and people could not just get over beauty, and they said that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. I do think she's beautiful in many ways, and but obviously I can look beyond that, because that's the thing. Sometimes we use beauty as a judgment or a rule, and we don't see the person. And so I'm more interested in the person. I'm more interested in the individual. And we live in a social media world or a metaverse world, or and when people are on social media, they present what they want you to see, and sometimes it's very difficult to be you. I have chosen to just be myself on here. I mean, obviously, you can't show everything on online. That's just, I mean, depends. Like, yeah, but I mean, I personally chose to just be myself. Like, I just let it rip pretty much. I know it's dangerous to be yourself online because sometimes when you share your own opinion on things, everybody with this cancel culture thing, I don't believe that's helping anybody. And then you expose yourself to cyberbullying and, of course, critics. And I'm in the field where people are going to criticize me heavily because my works will be read across the world or when I go on stage. And I have been criticized, but I always take it with grace. I haven't really come across anyone that was like mean. Like I haven't experienced that, thank God. People always give me constructive criticism, and I have a personality to listen to what people have to say. Like I'm not going to dismiss anybody. I'm going to listen, and I'm going to take it with grace and just apply it and try to be better and greater. But obviously, in Chelsea Chris' case, she had reached an height of success, according to everybody. God, now she was seen by millions of people across the world. So you have millions of people with different personalities. Some people are just mean, like super mean. They're jealous. All of these things come into play, and so everybody now is surprised she committed suicide. But these things are real, and there has to be measures put in place to protect people. And some people might argue, like, well, I've seen people comment like this: if you put yourself in the spotlight, you should expect these things. I do agree that whatever route you take, the expectation is there. But at the same time, that don't mean that people have the right to It's like saying that the minute you go on the road, for example, you should expect anything, which is true. But that mindset is so weird. It's like if you go on the road, just expect to be shot. Like it's just a weird world for people to just comment those things. Like people, like almost like people can't live their best life out here. Well, I mean that's the reality. So of course people, I know like influencers, for example, people always like I've seen some videos where people expose people. They pretend like they're in this like they're in this plane, like they own the plane, and you probably wonder why are people going through these lengths to do these things. Well, people want this culture of likes and being famous and to be seen and attention. It's And I think beyond that as well, a lot of people are suffering from low self-esteem. So being online is the only place that they get glorified, gratification, compliments, and after a while they have to continue the facade. And we all know, or I think that we all understand that to be fake and to continue fakeness is a lot of work. And I use an example where I remember a classmate of mine, when I was attending university, and this discussion came up. I don't know what we were talking about, and she said something, it was so profound, and she was like, you know, I can't even go on the road without putting on makeup. And meaning like probably even go to the shop. So probably the shop is just down the road. And I'm like, why? Like, and she's like, because people judge. People, I always have to look my best, and yeah, and I looked at it and I was like, man, that's so sad, man. Like, why can't you be you? Like, why one day if you don't put on makeup and you decide to go on the road and just be you, be free. It's just, or some people are there in their house and they have to, dress up and like, recently my friend Simon, I don't know if you know him. I always speak about him. Simon Preston, big up yourself. He's a sports analyst. Um, I mean, he came to my house recently, and I did look presentable, but I mean, I didn't go over the top. Like, man, you're gonna see me in real life. You're gonna see how I live. You're gonna see me in my bad state, my good state, because I don't have no time, and I don't have the energy, and I'm too lazy for that. Like, to be doing over the top things. Like, nah, that's not me. Yeah, that's too much, and I can't keep up with fitness. That's not me. Yeah, I could not keep up. Like, I have too many things to do to be worrying about, doing a million things just to keep up with an appearance. Ever watch that keeping up appearance? Whoever watched that? I think it's an English show. It's so funny. Yeah, keeping up appearance. And so I'm not into that. What about the other show? What's the other show? Jesus, what's the name of that show? I can't remember the show. It's a term that we always use. I forgot it. Keeping up with it. Keeping up. Keeping up with the Jones. Yeah, I remember watching that show, and this show ties into what I'm saying. And if I remember correctly, so they get a group of people, right, to appear like a family, but they weren't related, and they move into a community, one of those posh community. And I remember the Jones, right? I think the wife, she bought, was it a washing machine? I don't remember what she bought. She bought something, and then the next door neighbor, who was fine, by the way. Their marriage was okay. She was alright. She was living fine. And then she went over to the lady house. She saw a couple things. She went home, tell her husband, say, "Oh, I want a swimming pool." Yeah. And obviously the man can't afford a swimming pool, and swimming pool are expensive to maintain. And I think he said that, we don't have the money to buy a swimming pool. Why you need one anyways? And she's like, "Oh, next door neighbor, they have one," and blah blah blah. And the man just couldn't afford it, and I believe when he realized that him wife was nagging, and him just put a bullet in him head. And by the end of the show, right, the same people move out, and they are planning to go to our next community. And I think they had to disband it because they felt guilty, because they go everywhere and do it, but not of this magnitude has ever happened where somebody actually killed themselves. And you know what's so funny about that show? The man who killed himself, right, because he couldn't give his wife what she wanted, is that they were actually perfectly fine. They were comfortable. Like they pay their bills. They have food. Them also was very nice. They had their cars. They were just good. You just know in a good place. They were just good. And just because she saw the lady was getting new stuff, and they get the swimming pool and whatever, she you know she wanted it too. In Jamaica, would I say ready eye? It means, our people want things that they don't need. Want versus need. And everybody struggle with that in some way or somewhere. Like, you probably go in the supermarket. You go in the supermarket just to get sugar. But just because one of the shopper buying salt, you buy sugar and salt. And maybe you don't need no more salt. Probably you have like 5 bags of salt. There's a lot of temptation, and there's a lot we have to learn about self control. And there's also a lot that we struggle with being ourselves, being authentically you in front of people, whether it's on social media or in real life. We also struggle when you reach a height of success and know you have to maintain that success. So people always sometimes like, even with our dancehall artists, and I don't want to pick on them, but people are always saying, "Whoa, how they're doing these things for likes, they them sell out, they're doing unnecessary things." But there is a pressure, and I kind of understand. We can bash them, but at the end of the day, when they're at that level, you kind of, I mean, you are not in the spotlight, so you don't know what's like. But they're under immense pressure, either from them family, from them own fans, probably the industry that they're signed to, like the label and stuff like that. Or they are sometimes you put pressure on your own self. So probably nobody else putting pressure on you, but you put pressure on yourself because you reach a level now and you feel like, oh, I have to be in people's mind. I have to maintain this. I have to do this till till you end up lose you and lose yourself. And in the end, when you lose you and lose yourself, you reach a stage of death, right? Because we can only be ourselves living it. The only way to survive on planet Earth is to live your truth and to be you. And it's gonna hard to find all of that and then accept it. Like, that's another stage, acceptance. And I've learned that a lot, different stages of life. And so I try not to be too harsh in don't know use the word judge, but I'm gonna use it, judge, like judge people, or be even constructive criticism. I try not to be too harsh in it, because I mean we're dealing with human beings, and human beings, as tough as you are, you're still fragile in emotions, and we all have feelings, and there are times when you may be strong, and then other times you feel weak in your emotions, and that's just you being human. And you don't have to be strong all the time, because there are times that, like, I consider myself to be mentally strong. I'm very emotionally strong, but there are times, days that I get up and I just feel sad for no reason at all, or maybe there's a reason I feel sad, or I'm just feeling low today, energy feeling low. I'm just not my positive self, and that's life, and I don't have to beat myself up, because that's just how it is. Not every day you're gonna just be happy, happy, happy. Things happen, feelings comes, feelings go, and you might go on the road and somebody piss you off, and then that's you just at a sad moment. It can be a moment, it can be a sad whole day, and that's life. And but I would say, reach out. There's organization, there's agency, there's people. Obviously sometimes people reach a stage where I can't speak, because I've never been that low, but I've been low, but not that low. But you kind of understand that people, on life, they're going through a lot of things, and sometimes they're not going to express certain things. And especially in Chelsea Chris stage or case, she was so well known to the world, and people adored her beauty, and a lot of people might think, well, I'm ugly, or you're pretty, or whatever. It doesn't matter which spectrum you think you're on. It's a burden to bear. Just imagine, only thing people can see is just how beautiful you are, and you're carrying this beauty badge, and you have to always look pretty, and you have to always look a certain way to be accepted. That is a burden to carry. And vice versa. If people always saying you're ugly, I mean, people commit suicide for that too, because, as I say, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Like, I've seen people say somebody's ugly, and I'm looking and I'm like, I don't see it. I see that person as a beautiful person. And I'm not just saying it to be nice. Like, I generally see like that person. That's why I really do agree with that statement that beauty is indeed in the eyes of the beholder. And what's interesting is that it doesn't matter just what everybody says or think, because by the end of the day, that influences how you see yourself. And if you see yourself ugly or you see yourself pretty, there is a burden to it. There is expectation to it. And it can be detrimental because if you think you're all that, you can become vain. And if you think you're ugly, you're gonna have low self-esteem. So, I mean, it's rough. But, I mean, people out here doing all kind of stuff to be online, to be liked. And they're looking for those likes. They're looking for those engagements. But there's an next side to it, and it's cyberbullying, and it's the critics. And they're out there really targeting people because they're jealous. Let's be real. Like, people out there jealous, people out there bad mind, you know. So you don't have to be doing anything necessarily bad or whatever for you to attract jealousy or attract cyberbullies, because they're out there. Because we're dealing with people. People will be people. You have all type of people. I know most of us are sometimes still naive that people are nice, and of course there's wonderful nice people, but when you're on the internet is a very rough place, and you have hackers. That's another even aspect. Like, people out here hacking people profile, people out here scamming people out of their money. Like, a lot of elderly people who are lonely, sad to say, they probably don't have anybody to talk to, and they're just really looking for someone to just listen sometimes, just hold a conversation with them, probably have a little coffee with them, and then you're in a vulnerable state, and people pounce on you because some people make their money off people being vulnerable. A matter of fact, a lot of business people make their money off of people being vulnerable. Something to think about. Of course, there's business people who are just generally providing a service, and that's what they're making. But there are some people, their business is to look for the vulnerable and make money off them. That's a reality. And that's something that we have to educate ourselves about. We have to educate our children about, because children are, a lot of children are on the internet, and they themselves are experiencing. Because how many people know that, especially in America, when it comes to suicide, the rates are very high amongst children. Yes, suicide is very high amongst children. Suicide is also on the rise in Jamaica, and it's one of those taboo topics. It's like when we hear people commit suicide, everybody comment, and people, and ball, and we have to pray and stuff like that, and then everybody forget about it. But suicide is like under the radar in Jamaica, like one of them epidemic where a lot of people are committing suicide across Jamaica. But I don't know. I've not really seen per se like it's on a government level where people are really talking. Like, people talk about it on social media, but I don't know. I personally have not seen like a lot of like billboards or flyers or posters or things talking enough. Put it that way. And yet there's agency, and they're doing a lot of work to really get it out there. But obviously, most of these agencies they're underfunded, and for some reason, as much as we're in an age of information, it's almost like information still not reaching a wide range. It's not necessarily error on the agency. It's just one of those things, like, especially if somebody's going through it, it's like sometimes they them become like them blank, and they don't know where to turn to. And you know those things are like concerning. And I think with Jamaicans too, we like to like we use the humor to cover how we truly feel. Everything is a joke to us. We use humor till there are people are saying that Jamaica is not a real place, but it is a real place because everything's happening. It's real, and it's happening across the world. And people are going through a lot, and I believe this conversation should be taught more. We need facilities to deal with mental illness, depression, suicide hotline. I mean, those things are here, but you need it more to be spread, especially using like traditional media, using the government as well. Of course, the government might say, well, we have so much things to do. But do have an agency that deals with it then. Have an agency that deals with, well, I mean, health. Like, health should encompass not just one aspect. That's the thing. When people think about health, we always think about physical health. I can bet you that the minute, probably now it changed now because people, everyone's talking about mental health. But generally, most people, when they talk about health, yes, you immediately think physical. No one really thinks mental. And that's where a lot of people are being troubled now because it's not easy living in the world. It's not easy living in Jamaica. Like, there's so much pressure in different ways. Like, poverty, unemployment, domestic abuse, crime and violence. Like, it's a lot to process. And there is a lot of fear factor. There's a lot of fear. And that can affect people mentally. And of course, from your mental is affected, your physical, your spiritual, your emotional, all of them going to be affected. Because if you're not strong up mentally, your health will deteriorate. Your physical will feel your mental. It's just like me. Like, when I'm supposed to perform, right? Naturally, like, I might feel strong and I might feel okay. But guess who wants to go to the bathroom? Guess who feel like this thing in my stomach? Because my physical is connected to my mental. Because I have already prepared myself mentally, by practicing, studying. So my physical know that, hey, there's something big is going to happen. And so, it connects with your mental and it start to react to what's going on. So I'm going to the bathroom, I probably start feeling nervous, I feel anxious. That's just how your body works. Like, all of your body elements is aligned. They are not really like separate. Like, they all come together. You know what I mean? Like my mom always say, you never see somebody without them head. You never see a headless person yet, isn't it? You can't live without your head. You can't live without your mind. And it's especially with this pandemic, it's even more harder. Like, I've been checking on people like, yo, what's up? Even when they tell me they're fine, I'm like, are you really fine? Like, I want to know, are you fine? Because I mean, we all do it. Like, somebody will ask me, what's up? And I'll be like, yeah, I'm fine, I'm okay. And then sometimes a person call me and they'll be like, are you really fine? Are you really okay? Because you just kind of get those one answers. You're probably not fine or okay, but you just say it. You probably can't bother explain or whatever. But if somebody generally care, they go further and kind of ask if you're really fine, if you're really okay. Can they stop by, check on you, probably call you, probably pray with you. We need those things. And, even beyond this pandemic, because all of the issues that are happening now, like a lot of people think, oh, it's a pandemic cause it, or the pandemic trigger it. Well, that may be true, but it doesn't stop it from the existence of it. So you've probably had these issues long before, and know that we are in a stuck place. All of these issues are manifesting. Like nobody not just start abuse children. They don't just start abuse their spouse. Domestic abuse have been happening probably in that home. They just in a space now that Big up Craig, my coach Wagwan. When did I become a coach? I thought I was just still a poet. Big up yourself, Amazai the Great. So Amazai the Great is working on his book. I'm sorry to cut what I was saying, but from a scene. So Amazai the Great is working on his new book, so I want you guys to support it. Don't Cry is I got it right? Don't Cry is the title. It's not easy to do a book, so he has been having some challenges, but I gave him some pointers. I hope they were helpful. Yeah. So what was I saying? Yeah, people need help, and you're not doing yourself any help when you have to put out. I mean, I don't think it's gonna change anyways. Like people gonna still put out fakeness to be accepted, and that's the greatest. That's the thing that people want. They want acceptance, cause you know, in society everybody have a clique. However, for me, I've been places where like you wasn't like the popular kid in school, and people probably consider you weird and stuff like that. And so sometimes people change themselves to, or they do things to try to be accepted. You try to be the class clown, stuff like that. Probably you're not generally that type of person, but you do so much. You join a sports team. Most people, or most human beings, naturally, we might say we don't want to be accepted, but everybody want to be a part of a family, and family don't necessarily mean like your family. It mean family outside of family. So for example, with me, um, you know, I have a poetry family, and when I'm around my poetry family, it feels just like my other family, because I feel the same way. I feel safe. I'm around people who have genuine concern about me. They care. They care about me. They care about my work. They care about my well-being. And it's just good that we can call, we can encourage each other. Um, we're going through our own stuff. They can encourage me, and so that's something that every human being look for. We want peace. We want peace in our spirit. We want peace in our life. I just want to be at peace. I know that's what I want for myself. And so when I'm around people who are just naturally very good, like, Amazon the Great, Melanin, Wise Words, Richie Innocent. These are individuals that normally when I go to a poetry event, you will normally see me around these individuals, because they're just good people, and they're great poets, they're good people, and they treat me like family. And these are all men also, and they're all fathers. Another thing too, as you know, I have issues, father issues. So to be around men who treat me with respect and treat me like I'm their daughter, it's something that I can look up to as well, and feel at ease. At least I can use them as examples of how men are supposed to be, or how a father is supposed to be. And so so we're all looking for those people. And then these individuals that I just named, there's other people, there's lots of people. they I've never been around them where I felt pressured, like I had to be someone that I'm not. The minute they met me as how I was, they encouraged me to be more of how I am. And those are the people that you want to be around. People who see you as an individual, somebody who see you as a person. They see your flaws, they see your strength, they see everything about you. And if they see your flaws, but they accept you, and if it's something that they can help you to be better at, but not in the sense that they are going to be like, hey, I like your hair, but you need to cream it, or you need to wear locks, or you need to do this, or you need to do that, or you gain so much weight, you need to lose weight, or whatever. I'm not saying that, if you're unhealthy, you can't, because, but it's the way how people do it. Is it a case that they're telling you to lose weight, for example, for you just to be slim to be accepted, or they're telling you to lose weight and to eat good food to be healthy to live longer? So it's all about the message. It's all about the agenda. So those are the people that I want to be around. Those are the people that I attract, and those are the people that want to be around me. And those are the people that also support me. Like, I want to big up my support online here. So far, like, everybody who I've seen supporting, my Verandah Conversations, my book, are real people. Some of them I've met in real life, and they are just as how them appear on social media. And we all know that it ain't easy to be yourself because people are so judgmental, which is so weird, right? Like, people judge you when you're fake, and they judge you when you're real. So you gotta live your best life. You gotta live and be you, because either way, like you're doomed. So might as well you live and be your best self, that you can keep up with your best self. Meaning that if you come out and show that, listen, hey, I'm not rich, this is what I can afford, this is the clothes I wear, this is all my hair is, and people be like, you're gonna find your niche, you're gonna find your audience, and find people who are gonna, respect you, and just understand your struggle, because we are in this cycle and life of learning, and it don't make any sense to pretend to be something that you're not, because it's going to be hard to keep up. As I mentioned about the show Keeping Up with the Jones, eventually the man put a bullet through his head, commit suicide. I've also read this poem, Richard Cory. It's my favorite poem. It's one of those poems that I read in what's the name of that book? The poetry book. I forgot the name of the poetry book. But yeah, I thought I forgot the name of the poetry book. I forgot the name of the book. Y'all know the book. So it with the story with Richard Cory, and I mean, I read that book. I read off that the book in one day, and then I came back to that poem because I just couldn't get over. Because it even sums up everything that I'm saying. That Richard Cory poem, how people, like, it showed you how people are looking on saying, wow, this man is so handsome, he's so rich, and we are here and we can't even afford bread. And then one night the man just go home and put a bullet through his head. And it's pretty much how we look on and see people. We see people on the road and we judge them and we assume. We think their life is well. And, we think they don't know what we're going through. And the truth of the matter is that everywhere you go, most people, or if not all, even no matter their status too, like I know a lot of people think rich people, like, that's another thing, like, people just think like rich people, oh, their life must be awesome because they have money. And yet you might find a man living in a boardhouse with him zinc, and probably wake up and him more happy and more free than the man with rich. It can be vice versa. You can be poor and happy, because poor is relative. Poor is a relative term. People look on people and say you're poor because you don't have this and you don't have that. But yet you're probably rich in life, meaning you have found the joy in life. So probably you wake up and you satisfied with where you have, because you don't race at this at the moment, but you happy. And you wake up and you wake up without no stress than the ordinary stress you have, like, yeah, they'll try to find food, pay your bills. You're not really too worried about no business. They're free. And I mean, so, and then the rich man, probably they're in bed now. I wonder if somebody break in on my business. He might worry about a million and other things on his mind. And it can be vice versa. You have rich people who are genuinely happy. And you, whatever. Like, happiness is not determined by your wealth. Happiness is a state of mind, or a state of perception then. So you perceive your own happiness. You know what I mean? And happiness is always shifting. Meaning, to me, today I can wake up and feel very happy. and tomorrow me not feel happy. It's a state of emotion too. That no mean say is it me. I just life because your emotion and your feelings change. It come and go. So and it as I say it's determined by you. Happiness and success to me is something determined by you. And now of course the world have them own measuring stick, yes. Them other measure you and you have to live up to that measurement because it's just like qualification. You're going for a job and them don't give certain requirements and you have to fit those requirements. And of course there are times when you don't fit the requirements. Like for example, my conversation last week where I gave my experience of how I became the project coordinator for Manifesto JA music mentorship at Tough Gang Studio. No, I've never been to Tough Gun Studio. I've never really been in a studio like a musical studio. I've been to like RJR studio, but it's not the same thing. And I've never been a project coordinator for a music program. And I've never been a project coordinator. Period. And yet, I went as a mentee, just like everybody else. I went to the audition, and I performed. They loved my performance. They called me the next day, and they were like, "Yo, we wanted to be the project coordinator." And at first I was hesitant to say yes. I was like, because I'm like, I don't know, I've never done that before. Like, that sounds hard. But I said yes, and I said to my, and I said, and my mom said to me, and she said, yes, say yes, because this is how you learn. Like, if you never try, oh, you're gonna know. And, I was still upfront. Like, when I went, I told the project manager, I was like, I've never done project coordination yet. She's like, yeah, I figured, but we still think you're suited. And I'm like, wow, yo, if y'all believe I can do it, then if you believe I can do it and you're a project manager, you've been doing for like how many years, your experience, and you think I have the quality, then I have no excuse. And then she's like, just follow, follow my command, and you'll find your way. And and I went and I did it, and I really couldn't believe how awesome I did such a great job. I really like while I was doing it, I was like, whoa, like I can do this, like I have it in me. And by the end of the day, especially the mentees, like they got a lot of respect for me because everybody knew like I wasn't like experienced in the field, but I behaved like I was experienced in the field, like I knew what I was doing because I took instructions very well. That's one. I listen to even the students, and I do have some leadership qualities in me, and I try to utilize that. And I'm a people's person in the sense like I don't like I'm an introvert, but when I'm out, like I can be extroverted, like I can fit the situation, and especially when I'm amongst people, when the energy is right, when I'm amongst people and they are just good people and we're just on the same path, it's even more easier. Was there challenges? Of course there was challenges. There was challenges in the job. But I overcome those challenges, and I wasn't afraid to ask questions with people who were on the at Tough Gang Studio. And naturally me always respectful, so from day when I went there, me tell everybody morning, from people who are clean, who are sweep, from the security guard to who is higher up, you know what I mean. So from day one, me I tell everybody morning, me I talk to people, cause they were very engaging as well, and me love reason with people. Like I enjoy reasoning and holding discussions with people. So that even made it more easier. So from day one, I get along with everybody. So by couple like 1 week pass, I never need to explain anything to anybody like why was I there or whatever. Like people already know. Oh, she's a project coordinator. You know what I mean. And issues did arise with the mentees. Like people had a clash, and I had to step in. So conflict resolution was something that I had to be a part of and able to encourage people. And there was also times when people said they want to leave the program. So now I had to be sitting people down, encouraging them, talking to them. Some people they told me they didn't have bus fare. It's not like I was getting any money like upfront per se. Like I was getting in my bank account. But I always carry like extra money, so I had to be giving people money and stuff like that. And you know what I mean? And there was a lot that we could relate to. And I didn't use my position like, oh, I'm the project coordinator, say, oh, I have power over people. Nah, I was a project coordinator. Everybody knew that. People respect me. I respect. If people cross the boundary, because it doesn't matter whether you're a project coordinator or nothing. To me, from a human being, you get respect. I don't naturally go disrespecting people. So I believe that people should get respect. So I don't respect people just because, oh, you hold a certain status. Or because they are tough gang studio all of a sudden. You know what I mean? Whatever. So naturally when I meet somebody, then I treat them with respect. Don't tell them homeless man on the street. You know what I mean? Like me not just see him and start cuss him. Me not just see the dog on the dog and start beat them and stuff like that. Like that's just weird. You know what I mean? So I really did get along. I learned so much, and now I know I can do it. And it really proved something to me as well, that something that I've never done, it it's either you it's a learning lesson. It's either you fail it, as either you excel at it. But nothing's gonna beat a trial. And the project was a success. It's out. The music is out. So you can check Manifesta JA on the YouTube or Oneness Records and check out the music. Wonderful music by the young people. And it also, I always knew that I want to work with young people, but that was an opportunity, and it also proved to me that I really do enjoy working with young people. And it kind of took me out of my shell as well too, because as I say, I'm introverted. But you know, when a task is at hand, and I find that I find enjoyment in actually helping people creatively as well. And I never do music like, yeah, I'm a poet, but I'm not like a music person or a musician or something like that. So to be a project coordinator for music, it was very interesting. But anyways, you guys get the point. So I mean, people out here like I don't see, you know, you pretending to be something that you're not, or you're gonna help you. To me, it's more detrimental, because by the end of the day, you have to be keeping up with appearance, and some people that lead them to suicide, because when them can't keep up, or when them find, or when somebody expose them, because you have people who sometimes are malicious, or sometimes it, to me it's always a malicious act, but at the same time some people really, they may not, their intent may not for you to harm yourself, but the minute somebody's going to expose something about somebody, it's always going to end malicious, because if you expose people for whatever reason, basically them career done, them gonna get cancelled. It gonna have a detrimental effect on them life. Like that's just the reality. You know what I mean? And 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 even if you're living, even if you're living your truth and being yourself, and somebody knows some kind of secret about you, people can expose that as well. And then obviously that's where the judgment kick in. Like everybody will start looking at you different. Like I don't even get it. Like we're out here pretending like we're perfect. Like nobody upon planet Earth perfect. So I don't even too surprise. Like as you know, recently Lila Ike, for example, come out and expose herself pretty much. And while people might alive like our lifestyle, some of the comments them, yeah, like man, like them the detrimental, you see me? So if she's not strong mentally, I hope that, I know she probably have her team still. But what about ordinary people out here? When they are even go up on the road, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people can say some things, like sometimes I look on them like, you know what I mean? Like be careful what you're saying to people, like, you know what I mean? I'm not telling people to sugarcoat things, because me not political correct. Me just tell people like it is. But at the same time, there's some things I'm just not going to say to people. Like, me not just see somebody and say, oh, you're fat and overweight and you're soggy and blah 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 and stuff like that. Or you're so skinny, you look like you're malnourished. And sometimes people say these things in a joke way, but me not really take it. I know when somebody has say something in a joke way, and me can laugh, because me always laugh off of myself. Versus when them say it in a malicious way. Like some people, them use, them this say in a joke. You see me? And them thing are detrimental. So, we just put it out there to people. Say, oh, everybody know this already, but we just still put it out there. That, be careful what you say to people. Because, as them say, I know what you say, or how you say it. Your tone of voice. And I will go deep and say your intention behind what you're saying. Nothing beat your intention and your agenda. Everything we do, there's an intention or an agenda, and that determines the outcome. Most of the time, why people take things the wrong way is because of your intention. Let's be real. It's your intention. You did intend to insult them. You did intend for this them. You did intend for them feel bad. And when them feel bad and them lash out, then there's problem. Or in a sense that them take an extreme way. So for those people who actually commit suicide, in terms of cyberbullying, because I've been reading, I've been watching, and cyberbullying is a massive thing. It's also massive in Jamaica as well. And as we said, these things are under the radar because it's not something that we talk about. And as we say, we take things as a joke, but it's cyberbullying. Like if every time you come on Facebook, you notice that one person there, and you come on to them message you. You wonder if I saw them watch your page, I saw them online so much, and or them say certain things to you where you see me, them a style under the quiet as we say, or you know what I mean. So you have to look out for these things. Me personally, if me not feel comfortable, me I block you. Just I tell you from now, you get blocked. Like if you have a certain thing I'm warn you, you get blocked. Me I remove you, report you. Like I'm not afraid. You see me? And I'm strong, so me not really take like even compliments. Like I'm not afraid of compliments. So if somebody say, "Hey, beautiful, what's up?" Like me not necessarily think say as some harassment. Yeah, me not that low. It's just based on the conversation me can determine. You see me? But really, I encourage people out there to be strong. I wish people would be themselves. I know it's difficult because you have to satisfy this material world. You have to put your best self out there because you fear of judgment. But the way me see it, you gotta get judged anyways. Because I've seen people who are well put together, them awesome, and I still hear people are bad mind them. I still hear people are chat bad about them. And then when I confront some of them people, I'm not afraid to confront people. I'll be like, what do you mean? Why are you saying that about that person? And then them start, then can't even give one sensible excuse. I just blast them while I just say like, you're just jealous of that person. And sometimes people too, they will come to me and say, oh, that person said this. And I say, you really believe that? Do you really take that in your spirit and believe that? Just denounce that. That person is jealous. Jealousy and hate and envy, all of them in a one bracket. Sometimes lead to all murder too. Because I always say, that Cain and Abel story. Before it lead to murder, it was jealousy. Jealousy is a very dangerous thing. Leads to murder, yeah. So even a lot of those murder you see I'm in Jamaica, they might say a revival. A jealousy. Plain and simple jealousy. Just like how them say Hitman thing get high in a Jamaica now. Like Hitman is like a big business. Majority jealousy, me not ask you. People jealous. People see you. I no matter even if you have like you don't have to have whole heap of things for people jealous of you. I wonder if people know that. Like you can't even have one look a banana plant and your neighbor see it. And see you have a banana plant. And jealous of your banana plant. Like something as trivial and simple. Like you don't take nothing for people be jealous of people out here. It's sad, but at the real world. Some just want people to take care of themselves. try to be still be positive, try to be the best you. You can only be the best you. Cause the best you are the last longer. You see, if you try to go fake, yeah, you have a short lifespan in that. Because you have to try keep up, and keeping up are too much stress. So you better you just be you, and be the best you, and always try to improve you in a good way. Cause that's the only thing made to promote in a good way. So if you have, if you know have dirty ways and you want to improve yourself, no problem. You can change that about yourself, but don't change you. Like, don't change the wonderful person that you are. For you try fit in a no clique or fit in a. Cause eventually you not can fit in, because who you try fit in with, them sometimes all them stay and not even fake them and be fake. And then themselves, like, but you not fit with them. It's just like me not say, oh, me can par with a thief. Me not say, oh, me can par with a murderer, because I'm none of those things. So I can't par with people where we just don't fit. Unequally yoked. People like to read that in the Bible, and I wonder if people know that unequally yoked is not only in relationships only, in the sense of romance and stuff like that. It mean unequally yoked in all relationships. So in friendship, in whatever. Like, if somebody's a friend, you and them is not alike, but there are certain qualities that is alike. So me can't par with somebody who bad mind and jealous, because me not bad mind and jealous. Because every time them they around me, them are to show them colors. And me I to be against what them I say. So eventually, you have to separate. And that's just the reality. So choose your friends wisely. Choose people who can give you the love and support that you need, and you can do the same for them. Because it's not only for the pandemic you need them for life. This is a life lesson. This is a life journey. You need people. Support is something that people need. It's not even ask you. Support. I couldn't reach this far in my life without support. I couldn't reach it without my mother, my brothers, neighbors, friends and family, Facebook family as well, poetry family. I have people on here that I've never met, but they give me a lot of support. And support comes in many ways. A lot of people think support only financial. Support can come with just person saying, hey, what's up, what you doing? Support can be that them share your probably your writer's page, them share your video, and support comes in different ways. So support can be them sharing your works, can be that they're encouraging you, it could be that they're praying for you. And we all need all of those support. We need healthy support, especially in the black community. We need that. We need that in Jamaica. Like Jamaica right now, we need to be purged, and we need support in many ways. And that's something that I yearn for, and that's something that I share with other people. So I try to support people as best as possible. Whether is reaching out to them, asking how them is. It can be financial as well, but it's not always financial for a lot of people. Like, yes, we all need financial help. Like, me need financial help as well, but at the same time, I need emotional help. And like, I'm happy when somebody can call me and say, yo, what go on, how you stay, you know what I mean, how you feel today. Like, them the thing there, even a good morning. Like, I've told people, like, literally on the road, like, me walk and I say good morning, and the person say, I said a good morning the way you just tell me, it brighten my day. And I say, oh, really? Like, me never really even take it, say it's important. And the person like, yeah, man, like, much people pass me and they never even notice me. And you just tell me good morning. And I say, for real though, a good morning they really help somebody. Even recently, one of my classmates, this guy, like, me just asked him, like, how he is and stuff like that. And him say to me, I say, oh, I say, you messaged me this morning, actually make me day. And I was like, really? And I'm like, yeah. Like, you checking on me really make me day. And I said to myself, say, that is a real thing, because more while when people message me and them ask me how me is and really check for me. More while even like Richie Innocent, more time Richie Innocent just call me and say, oh, as he's him there foreign, and him said to me, say, oh, I'll go on, and him I talk for me 3 hours or more, kind of talk, or wise words, or whatever. And I'm saying, you know, I say I feel good after that talk, yeah. I sometimes people even call me and pray for me. And I'm like, whoa, or they message me and say, you know, that I was praying for you. And I'm like, whoa. Like, I definitely appreciate that support. Support comes in many ways. And it's something that we have to encourage. It's something that we have push. And I hope that it's something that become a part of our culture in Jamaica, support. Because we're always saying that people don't support. And it's true. I can't really say people don't support me. I can't really say that, to be honest, because I have been supported. I have felt support, so I won't really say that I haven't received support. But I would say that it's a general view that a lot of people don't feel supported, and you know, a lot of young people, especially, all people need support, but especially the generation coming up, we need a lot of support to steer us in the right way. Because as much as all people have said, there's opportunities out there, you know. They say as many as the opportunities is as many as the distractions. You know what I mean? There's a lot of distractions out there. There's also a spiritual element to things. You know what I mean? There's a lot of spiritual attack on people. I know a lot of people don't probably believe in certain things, but it don't stop the existence of it. You know what I mean? Because the physical, there has to be a physical and there has to be a spiritual world. And the both of them collide and connect. And so, sometimes, it's just like even more while you go to the doctor and you tell the doctor, say, boy, I may not feel well. The doctor may not see anything physically, but you are feel it internally. But it doesn't stop it from existing. It's just like the spiritual world. Sometimes you may not see it with your physical eyes, but it's there. It's just like sometimes, you know, like the wind. You hear the wind. Well, sometimes you see the wind because you see it a whirl around. And sometimes even dust particles. It's only when the sun lit, you know, I notice these dust particles. But right now they're passing, but you're not seeing them with your, you know, your physical eyes. That's why, you know, scientists use microscopes, because they are so minute that it requires a microscope to see it. But you can't say it don't exist. Yeah, I mean, you can't say, oh, atom don't exist. But yet, it's sure that it exists. Them use a microscope and see it. But maybe you can't see certain things, but it's there. And so, give thanks, everybody, for the talk. Thanks for listening. Thanks for supporting. And, you know, whether tune off, because whether drink some bush tea, eat some food. Because today I was on the road, and I came like half an hour before I start this. I don't know, so we're dedicated to the thing. I know people are tuning in, and so me give thanks for the support, and really appreciate everybody watching. And you can always share the video, you know, share. You know what I mean? And you can comment like whatever you want me to talk about. If you want to be on the program as well, because we do interviews and we showcase people talents, we showcase people products. So you can always DM me. You can always comment. You know what I mean? Because we not do this for ourselves alone. We are share people work. If you come on my page, you will see a lot of people work shared, because we are using the platform for better. For not only for myself, but for other people. So you can always support them work. Definitely when Amazon done with his book, you will see it on my page. And I will encourage him to also make like a book trailer, make like a flyer. You know, I'm done creative already. I'm done probably have how I'm gonna promote it already. You see me? I want him to do the same for me. Like I'm in the fever of creating. I hope him can do like a little book trailer for me as well. And I probably I mean, me have flyers already, so not necessarily. Probably a book trailer. So afterwards, me and him can talk about that. So guys, thank you for supporting. Thank you for watching the program. Definitely share it and give thanks. And next time we talk again. So what good? Big up.